What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj, and day one of the new NBA season is complete. Yes, we had two awesome games, and one detail that kind of ruins at least the first game, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. The Boston Celtics, of course, as we know. Gordon Hayward suffered one of the most graphic and just awful injuries a lot of people have ever seen. It's reminiscent of the Paul George injury a few years ago in that USA scrimmage game. Now, the Gordon Hayward injury, I don't believe it's as severe as Paul George's, and Paul George actually ended up recovering and becoming an even better version of his previous self. So, of course, saying Gordon Hayward's career is over, saying he will never be the same player, I think that's a long shot, especially the thing about him never playing again. The guy is definitely going to play again, barring some setback. Yes, this injury was extremely graphic. It was one of the most graphic, if not the most graphic injury in NBA history. I mean, seriously, even worse than that Paul George injury because it was totally in the spotlight. And of course, I have to mention, I hope the guy recovers as fast as possible. I hope he's, doing as good as he can possibly do right now. I can't imagine what kind of pain and just overall mental breakdown someone like that, someone who has to go through that has to go through. So, prayers up to Gordon Hayward, of course. But you can see, that took the wind out of everybody. All of the fans, the Boston Celtics team for that entire first half. After that happened, I don't even lie, it was really hard to watch. I mean, seriously, it was hard to watch that game just to see everybody how they're playing after that. People were not nearly as interested, and, it was not buzzing in that arena. So, that, oh my God, what a horrible way to start off your Boston Celtics debut. 6 minutes in, and that happens. And that's the real problem with this, and the topic of this video, of course, Gordon Hayward's big injury. Yes, there is a possibility we could see him back this season. However, are we going to see All-Star Gordon Hayward back this season? Probably not. I mean, I would be surprised. Gordon Hayward, fortunately, is a player that is really smart. He's skilled. So those are things that could transfer. His game does not rely completely on athleticism, even though a lot of it does. He's a very athletic player, and a guy like that going down with the injury like that is a lot worse, because if something's to happen to you and you're never the same athletically, if your game weighs heavily on athleticism, your talent and value will take a hit. It really will. Your production will take a hit, I should say. So, Gordon Hayward, if he's got some sort of crutch for the rest of his career and he just can't play as well, I do think that he will still be an effective player. But I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to be eventually that same player that he was, just like Paul George, and maybe even get better. I don't know, because Paul George injured himself earlier in his career, so maybe I wouldn't say he's going to get better, but I do think he can come back and be that same player. He'll be a little rusty, of course, but that'll just be this season. But I think next year he'll be fine. That's my prediction, and I pray that that's what happens, because this is not only bad for the Celtics, but it's bad if you're an NBA fan too, because the Celtics are one of these teams. You saw them last night. You saw all of the different players they have that can play. I mean, these guys are pretty loaded when it comes to role players and team players on this team. I mean, Jaylen Brown is going to be a monster. If you guys watched the game last night, this dude went at LeBron James. Yes, they lost, but he went down swinging. I mean, he had a great game. He had 25 against LeBron, obviously got outplayed, but he's 20 years old, and he's not really one of these guys that we saw explode last year. Instead, I think we're going to witness that explosion this year, because he was incredible. His athleticism is off the charts. You got a guy like Marcus Smart, who is an incredible defensive player. Basketball IQ is phenomenal. The guy can run an offense, and he can run a defense too. I mean, he's like your on-court coach almost, and the heart of the team vocally. So he's another guy. And Jason Tatum, rookie, he came out, he dropped 14 points as a starter. It looks like he's going to be the long-term starter. I think that's what they're saying, over Marcus Morris. I found that very interesting, a little bit risky, but he looked pretty good. Took him a while to get going, took everybody a while to get going after that injury rattled everybody. But the Celtics got going in the second half. Of course, the Celtics still have Kyrie Irving. So when we talk about is their season over, this is the question. For me, I would say that, this wasn't a team that I had winning a championship or beating the Cavs this year. However, this was a team that could, not get swept by the Cavs. Like, this is a team that could get to that Eastern Conference Finals and at least put up a somewhat entertaining fight against the Cavs, was my prediction. Some people had them beating the Cavs. I thought that was pretty ridiculous. But either way, this is the second best team in the East if everybody is healthy. It just has to be, look at the talent on this team. They're pretty stacked. And I think that they're going to be a playoff team still. Are they going to be that same team that is undoubtedly second best team in the East? No. Are they still the second best team in the East? I don't think so. I think that Washington, and we'll see who else, but because we don't know who takes a step. I assume the Heat and the Bucks and the Raptors are going to be better than the Celtics, but we don't know. The Celtics are well coached. They have a good defense. They play really smart team basketball, and that's something that will always help you. And what people don't do enough, honestly, you center your team around one superstar, and it's fine as long as you have the guys around him to create a team that plays as a team. If you just have one guy doing his thing, that's not gonna get you anywhere. So the Celtics will always have that. I'm almost positive they'll be a playoff team unless we see Kyrie Irving go down, which I hope it doesn't, because come on, we need as interesting of an Eastern Conference as we can. If we're gonna have all these weak teams at the bottom of the East, we've got to have some pretty good teams at the top to contend with the Cavs or to give them trouble, at least. I don't want to see the Cavs sweep everybody and go to the finals again. I don't want to see that. So hopefully, the Celtics find an identity without Hayward, which it's possible. This team, can they still win 50 games? I think they can, but you need a lot of things to go right. So season over, I wouldn't say that. This team's still making the playoffs and maybe even winning a series in the playoffs. Will they win 2? I doubt it. Will they beat the Cavs? Not a chance. So obviously, I don't think they're a contender at this point. I think they went from really, really dark horse contender to not a contender. But obviously, the biggest problem with this is that you lose a year of Gordon Hayward, and you lose a year of getting him to mesh with the players you have. Starting to build that potential championship winning team, because he is a key piece there. He is, him and Kyrie Irving are the centerpieces here. He just inked that big contract, and he is, there for the next 4 years. You need him to be a star if you want this to work. So it's a huge setback. However, if there's a silver lining, if there's anything good we can take out of this, trying to look at the bright side here. Obviously, this is bad that this happened. However, you're going to see Jaylen Brown step into the spotlight more. He is going to get more shots. He's going to get more touches. He is going to become great this season, or at least take a big step to being there, because I know you guys might be flipping out dude, it's just one game. He's going to be back dropping 7 next game. Look, you guys need to pay attention. The guy's demeanor, to the guy's aggressiveness. If you look at this dude, 6'8", athletic as anybody in the NBA, can slash and finish at the rim as well as most players. Honestly, there aren't that many players in the NBA that can stop that if he is taking it to an opponent. This guy, if he knows how to attack, he will be incredible. And I think that he's going to be out there starting 82 games or as many games as he plays, and he's going to get shots. He's going to get the ball and have open opportunities with Kyrie Irving taking, a lot of the attention of the defense. He will have to knock down that 3-point shot, and that's something that he's going to struggle with, but it's going to become a very necessary asset to him. And also just other players that are trying to develop and be great. Kyrie Irving, he needs Gordon Hayward to help him win games. But especially Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Those are the 2 guys that are going to get more shots because of this. They're going to have to step up. And if they take that next step, when Gordon Hayward comes back, you got all of these guys that are lethal. And hopefully they can come together and make a seamless combination that can help be that team that takes down LeBron once and for all. I'm saying hopefully because I'm not rooting for the Celtics in general, but it's like I want to see someone take down LeBron. I want to see a lot of competition in the East. I want to see a new team rise and take the throne and then beat the Warriors. If you don't beat the Warriors, it's like, why would you do it anyway? Why would you get my hopes up? Like, that's the main goal. We just got to take down the Warriors, send Kevin Durant somewhere else. And yeah, that's going to do it. Like this up, please. Hit that like button. It helps. Comment what you think about this. Is the Celtics season over? What do you make of this injury? Is Gordon Hayward coming back? Is he playing this season? What do you think? I think he's going to come back and play this season at the very end, but he will not be that same player. We'll see how that goes. It'll be very interesting to see what the timetable looks like. And yeah, subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.